Shall we take the national anthem, please? 1, 2. Shall we be seated, please? Your Excellency, Mr. President, Your Excellency, President of the Senate, Honorable Speaker, House of Representatives, members of the National Assembly here present, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Chief of Staff to the President, members of the Federal Executive Council, senior government officials, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Mr. President, this is another remarkable day in which you sign the 2023 Appropriation Bill into law. And here you have your senior special assistants on National Assembly, both to the Senate and to the House of Representatives. They will present the budget to you now. SSA to the Senate, SSA to the President, House of Representatives. Can you please present the document to Mr. President? Mr. President, after it's presented to you, you will sign and thereafter make your remarks. After your remarks, we will have the group photographs. Take the national anthem and we'll be done.
So just we tell them the others, protocol, and like we said,
Normally join in when they're signing the Normally join in.
Invite them. Invite them.
Okay. To join Mr. President while he signs are the following people: Honorable Minister of Finance and Honorable Minister of State, National Planning, SGF, and the Chief of Staff to the President. They will be to Mr. President's right. To his left will be Senate President, Speaker, House of Reps, and Honorable Minister of State Budget and National Planning.
Call this one, set them enter the other bathroom.
And then all other members of the team, can you please go in below? All the backroom staff of the budget office, go in below so that you will be captured in the group photo. All staff of the budget office.
No.
Okay. With the deed now done, we can return to our seats, and Mr. President will make his remarks. Let's take our seats, and Mr. President is invited to make his remarks.
Members of the National Assembly, honorable ministers, the Secretary to the Government, the Chief of Staff, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to sign into law today the 2023 Appropriation Bill, the eighth and final annual budget of this administration, along with the 2022 Supplementary Appropriation Bill, principally to enable us to respond to the havoc which the recent nationwide floods did to our infrastructure and agricultural sectors. I would like to sincerely thank the Senate President, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and all the distinguished honorable leaders and members of the National Assembly for the expeditious consideration and passage of the Appropriation Bill. As I mentioned during the presentation of the 2023 Appropriation Bill, early passage of the budget proposal is critical to ensure effective delivery of our legacy projects, a smooth transition program, and effective takeoff of the incoming administration. I appreciate the firm commitment of the Ninth National Assembly to the restoration of a predictable January to December fiscal year, as well as the mutual understanding, collaboration, and engagements between officials of the executive and the legislature and the legislative arms of government. These have made the quick consideration and passage of our fiscal bills possible over the last 4 years. The Finance Bill 2022 includes measures necessary for the effective implementation of the 2023 budget and the attainment of the various set objectives. As you will recall, I laid the 2023 Appropriation Bill before the joint session of the National Assembly on the 7th of October 2022 and forwarded the 2022 Finance Bill thereafter. I believe the next administration will sustain the early presentation of the annual appropriation bill to the National Assembly to ensure its passage before the beginning of the fiscal year. I firmly believe the next administration will also sustain the current public financial management reform efforts, further improve the budgeting processes, and particularly maintain the tradition of supporting the appropriation bills with finance bills designed to facilitate their implementation. To sustain and institutionalize the gains of the reforms, we must expedite action and conclude work on the organic budget law for it to become operational before the end of this administration. The 2023 budget that I have the honor of signing into law today provides for aggregate expenditures of 21.83 trillion naira, an increase of 1.32 trillion naira over the initial executive proposal for a total expenditure of 20.51 trillion naira. As is customary, the Honorable Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planner will subsequently provide more details of the approved budget and the supporting 2022 Finance Act. We have examined the changes made by the National Assembly to the 2023 Executive Budget Proposal. The amended fiscal framework for 2023 as approved by the National Assembly shows additional revenues of 765.79 billion naira and an unfunded deficit of 553.46 billion naira. It is clear that National Assembly and the Executive need to capture some of the proposed additional revenue sources in the fiscal framework. This must be rectified. I have also noted that the National Assembly introduced new projects into the 2023 budget proposal, for which it has appropriated 770.72 billion naira. The National Assembly also increased the provisions made by ministries, departments, and agencies by 58.55 billion naira. Nonetheless, considering the imminent transition process to another democratically elected government, I decided to sign the 2023 Appropriation Bill into law as passed by the National Assembly to enable its implementation to commence without delay. I have, however, directed the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning to engage with the legislature to revisit some of the changes made to the executive budget proposal, and it is my hope that you will receive cooperation in this regard from the National Assembly. I also urge the National Assembly to reconsider its position on my proposal to scrutinize the federal government's outstanding ways and means balance of the Central Bank of Nigeria. As I stated, the balance has accumulated over several years and represents funding provided by the CBN as lender of last resort to the government to enable it to meet obligations to lenders as well as cover budgetary shortfalls in projected revenues and or borrowing. I have no intention to fetter the right of the National Assembly to interrogate the composition of this balance, which can still be done even after granting the requested approval. Failure to grant the securitization approval will, however, cost the government about 1.8 trillion naira in additional interest in 2023, given the differential between the applicable interest rates, which is currently monetary policy rate plus 3%, and the negotiated interest rate of 9%, and a 40-year repayment period on the scrutinized debt of the ways and means. To ensure more effective implementation of the 2022 capital budget, we proposed and the National Assembly approved an extension of its validity date to 31st March 2023. I would like to appreciate the cooperation of the National Assembly on this. The Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning will work towards early release of the 2023 capital votes to enable ministries, departments, and agencies to commence the implementation of their capital projects early in support of our efforts to deliver key projects and public services, as well as improve the living conditions of our people. As I mentioned during the presentation of the 2023 Appropriation Bill, the budget was developed to promote fiscal sustainability, macroeconomic stability, and ensure smooth transition to the incoming administration. The budget was also designed to promote social inclusion, strengthen the resilience of the economy. Adequate provisions have been made in the 2023 budget for the successful conduct of the forthcoming general elections and the transition program. To achieve the laudable objectives of the 2023 budget, we must achieve our revenue targets. MDAs and government-owned enterprises must intensify their revenue mobilization efforts, including ensuring that all taxable organizations and individuals pay taxes due. Relevant agencies must sustain current efforts towards the realization of our crude oil production and export targets. To augment available fiscal resources, MDAs are to accelerate the implementation of public-private partnership initiatives, especially those designed to fast-track the pace of our infrastructural development. This being a deficit budget, the associated borrowing plan will be forwarded to the National Assembly shortly. I count on the cooperation of the National Assembly for a speedy consideration and approval of the plan. Regrettably, the review of the Finance Bill 2022 as passed by the National Assembly is yet to be finalized. This is because some of the changes made by the National Assembly need to be reviewed by the relevant agencies of government. I urge that this should be done speedily to enable me to assent into law. I thank the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planner, the Minister of State, Budget and National Planner, the Budget Office of the Federation, the Senior Special Assistants to the President, Senate, and House of Representatives, the Office of the Chief of Staff, and everyone else who worked tirelessly and sacrificed so much towards producing the 2023 Appropriation Act, and I am signing today. These are challenging times worldwide. Let me conclude by expressing my deep appreciation to Almighty God for His grace and commend the continued resilience, understanding, and sacrifice of our people in the face of current economic challenges. As this administration draws to a close, we will accelerate the implementation of critical measures aimed at further improving the Nigerian business environment, enhancing the welfare of our people, and ensuring the welfare of our people and ensuring sustainable economic growth over the medium to long term. I thank you, distinguished honorable members, most sincerely for your attention. May God continue to bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. President. Shall we now rise to take the national anthem? 1, 2, go.
Fatherland, with love and strength and faith, the labor of our heroes shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and mind, one nation bound in freedom, peace and